friends, this is Raman Gill with your daily Forex market analysis for June 1st, 2016. We'll get started by taking a look at our Forex Factory calendar here. Tomorrow is full of these PMI numbers. We start the morning off in the London session with Spanish manufacturing PMI, and then we have manufacturing PMI numbers from different parts of the Eurozone, and then final manufacturing PMI number for Eurozone here at 4 a.m. Eastern. And then we also have manufacturing PMI numbers for the British pound and net lending to individuals for British pound. Going into the US session here, we have a final manufacturing PMI number and ISM manufacturing PMI number for the US dollar. So these manufacturing PMI numbers are quite important because these are the leading indicators that show the state of the economy. These lead to retail sales numbers later. So these are leading indicators that show us the state of the economy. So these are important. We also have GDT price index, which is the dairy prices for New Zealand dollar. Again, dairy prices are very important for New Zealand dollar because it's the main export for New Zealand. Going into the Asian session, we have Australian dollar retail sales and trade balance numbers. Today we saw positive GDP numbers for the Australian dollar. As a result, we saw a big spike up in Australian dollar, and we'll take a look at that on the charts. Let's move on to the charts here now. We're looking at Euro US dollar daily chart. Based on the daily close here, this is a bearish candlestick close. However, we weren't able to break below this 1100 level. So that will be our next target. Looking at this 1100 level, we could see a push up into 1180 or all the way into this 1215 level here as well. So if we do see a push up into either 1180 or 1215, this could be a potential area for a sell in this. So the price is trading in this range between 12.1, and 1.11. If it gets to the top of the range, which will be 12.1, 12.15, we'd be looking for a selling opportunity. And at the bottom of the range at 1.1100, we'll look to see if the price is willing to break below that. If it's not at that level, we could see buying opportunity. However, I am a little bit more biased to the sell side for the euro. British pound here, we saw a big drop in the British pound. Price did push up yesterday in the just prior to the Asian session because there was a poll that came out that said that the camp for remaining in the Eurozone was actually higher compared to those who wanted to leave Eurozone. And then this morning we saw a big drop in the British pound because then we saw yet another poll that completely negated those prior comments and suggested that people who wanted to exit the Eurozone actually weighed in more than 50%. And as a result, we saw a big drop in the British pound and it continued on entire day. So as a result of that, we have seen this huge drop. At this point, we are bearish on British pound. However, we would look for a pullback first before we sell this. So one of the areas for a pullback would be 145.50 level here, which is the top of the pin here, or it could go even higher into 145.80. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart here. We do see a bit of a bottoming formation going on here. So we could see the price pull into this pivot point, which is the 145.50 area, or higher up into 145.80 area, which is this support and resistance here. Both of these levels, if you see a setup to sell this, those will be good levels to sell this pair on. Overall, we are bearish on British pound. Looking at the New Zealand dollar here, very strong close for the day. That's a very bullish candle. And then we saw positive GDP numbers for Australian dollar. As a result, New Zealand dollar got pushed up with that as well. And now we see that it has run into trouble with that 6,800 level. So this will be an important test for a New Zealand dollar here to see if there really is strength in the New Zealand dollar, or was it just a pullback for selling. At this point, we will look at this 6770 number or 6750 number for this pair to pull back to for a further move to the upside. So based on the daily close, we are bullish on this. However, if the price gets up there at 6800 level again and is not able to hold above that level, then that could provide us a selling opportunity. Looking at a 1 hour chart here, we did see these spikes as a result of the positive numbers that came out for Australian dollar and also for China. The numbers came out positive, and usually Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar will be impacted by important China data because they are such strong trade partners with China. Here we saw two pins into the 6800 level. At this point, we're looking for a pullback into 6770. This is the support and resistance level here. If we see the price hold above 6770, we could see another push up back towards the top of the range here. However, if it does break through, we're looking for a move to the downside. At this point, I am bullish on it, so I'd be looking for a pullback into 6770 and for a potential setup for a long there. Aussie US dollar here, same story. We saw a good bullish daily close for the candle here. Over the last few days, we have seen the price stuck in this range, and now this is the first time the price has actually broken out of the range, and in this case it's broken to the top side. We are bullish on Australian dollar. I'd be looking for a pullback into 72.50 level here for a further move to the upside. And in terms of the target here, the first target would be this 73.35 level, and then further up we are looking at 73.67 level here. Looking at the 1 hour chart here, we see this big inefficiency. Now this inefficiency could get filled, so we would be looking for price to push down at this point into 72.50 level here, or even into the top right here, 72.64. And at either of these levels, if we see a bullish formation, we would be looking to go long here. On the daily close, we are bullish on Australian dollar. Dollar CAD here was interesting. We saw quite a drop in the oil level here. We saw a double top at this point. So now for tomorrow, we'll be looking for a further drop in oil. As a result, we could see dollar CAD push up. Now we did break through the previous 3100 level and we went into 3134, which was the next support and resistance level right here. Now price is pulling back into this trend line here. If the price stays above the trend line, we could see a push to the upside and then potentially a break above 3134, and then we'll be looking at the price move up into potentially into 3200 or 3224. However, we do need to see how price reacts here. It is pulling back into this trend line, and if it holds above the trend line, we could see a rejection of the trend line and a move to the upside. Here is our 1 hour chart. We see price sitting here. We'll likely see it pulling into this trend line right here, or even into S1 at 130.27. And at this point, at this support and resistance level, if we see the price hold above 30.20 or 30.15 area, we could see a move back up to test the highs at 31.34. And if the price breaks above that, then we are looking for another move up into the next levels, which will be R2 at 3200 or 3224. Overall, we are bullish for the day for dollar CAD. So that's it for now. I will see you in the trade room.